Welcome to Phantom Elite Paranormal. Join us on our explorations of the odd and weird, from ghost hunting to just exploring the creepy, the occult, and the strange stories we come across. We aren't actors or the average ghost hunter, this is the real deal.
Alright, this is a client review. It's a very private and sensitive matter. If we can keep the rude and bad comments out of this video, it'll be very greatly appreciated. These particular clients are having sort of like a demonic attack, and as we were doing this video real quick, we had to find a location to do this in a safe area, and as we're getting ready for the interview, as I was setting the cameras up, a couple of the beams just like snapped above us. It was a pretty intense moment. So they're pretty much having they had some problems in the past. Their father died, and a lot of trauma on that has introduced darker things into their lives. And in this video, I'm just trying to help out and try to understand what's going on. This is a process that we normally take when we look into a private case. This one is pretty much, I'm leaning towards more paranormal, but just because of the weird things that just happened in this video. We're just going to get into it here. They're going to tell their story, and they're very brave to tell their story out front like this. It's, a lot of cases we don't do this just because it is very private to them. Alright, enjoy this video, and see you at the location sometime down the road. Alright. Record to file D. I'm not feeling too great myself right now. There's a lot of events going on right now that it's just really weird for me, like that happening. And then what we were talking about is something that I've been dealing with the rest, pretty much all my life. That dark thing that you're talking about has been one of the things that I'm actually afraid of. I don't want to say it just because I don't want to freak you guys out more than you already are. Alright. That it pretty much wants on you.
Yeah.
And you have some interesting EVPs that you got off your ghost box too. I'm gonna bring this down over here. I don't know if this is actually getting us or not. Do you want your name on camera or no? No? Okay. So you've been getting some crazy EVPs on the ghost box here, and it's pretty detailed. It's telling you that all these events are happening and we're gonna happen, future events. I don't have the rest of my team here. I try to get them here. They have a lot of things going on in their lives right now too, and I wish they would be here because they help relax me. Even though when we go in places, they say that I relax them. I'm a pretty relaxed person. I can control the situation a lot better. Anyway, I'm just trying to calm down myself after that happening, and that's just beyond weird. Oh, ouch. So I'd say you pretty much want this thing gone on your life.
Right.
Would you feel that you're holding on to it in a way? Like you want it around to talk to?
I don't know.
I think what it's, in my opinion, I think what it's doing is it's feeding off her fear. And, you know, I keep expressing to her that, to me, in my opinion, if she were to live her life and surround herself with love, that is what's going to defeat it. That's my opinion.
I mean, you certainly can, you know, and I recommend that for a lot of people. It's not going to protect you. It's always going to be there. You got to have that will to, you know, cut it off to a certain point. You can't let it, like, completely run your life. Like,
right.
I mean,
and that's what I'm saying.
This stuff, what I do, you know, it's, I guess it's more or less to help me cope with what I see on a daily basis, you know, and I have a lot of, when it comes to this stuff, it's hard to, like, determine if you're just going insane.
I was totally fine until I heard what I heard. And it was really hard to, like, I don't know, change it. Like, change what I heard. Like, if she hears I love you and I'm hearing rape and murder, I mean, it's really hard to, like, go, you know.
What I heard was this. This is Dad. But before that, someone said, he's here. He's here. And then Papa's here. Papa's here. And then it was my dad. But then he said, remember?
Mm-hmm.
It says, mine. And then my dad, it sounded just like my dad. Like, it was his voice and everything. And he was like, we went to the cemetery earlier today. And was yelling, you know, like, telling him everything that she wanted to say to him, and, like, she was expressing, like, how she felt towards him, you know. And he said that what I heard was I can hear him, and he was saying, I'm here, you know, you can call me. It said call me, which was weird.
We were
like,
trying
it
to,
seems like
yeah.
they're talking on a telephone. You know what I mean?
Well, you would hear
That's
these,
what it seems like.
Like, you would hear these thumps, or, like, these weird
Clicks, like you're
Yeah.
on a phone. And, like, it seems like they were talking on a telephone, you know, but, like, he would say, you know, you can call me, I'm here, I'm listening. You know, I hear what you told me.
What
and
was...
he was answering her. He was answering her from what she said. You know?
And that's
what I was hearing. That's what I was hearing. I was hearing him talking to us. He said my nickname. You know? He said what my Uncle Miner would call me. I've asked that, and he said it. You know, and, like, he would say, oh, our sons, he would say their nicknames. Only he knows that, you know? And I never even said it.
Yeah.
He's saying it. It's clear as day to me.
He might have been, yeah. I'm not saying I wasn't there. Maybe I have a feeling that he was there to.
But I heard
help
him
you.
in the beginning say something, something, something. It's bullshit. And then later on, he said motherfucker. So I don't know if, like, he was talking to maybe who she's hearing, you know? And that's, when I thought about that, I even told him, I'm like, I'm thinking Dad's telling him to get the fuck away. You know, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
Leave
it
my
does
girls
sound like there's
alone.
arguing going on.
You know, because when there's in sessions, they'll say, hi, girls. You know, Rick will talk to us. He will say, you know, Rick is clear as day.
His
Rick
voice,
is clearer. I don't know, like, this sounds really weird to me, but this is my sense of it, okay? Like, I think it all depends on how they went. You know what I mean? But I think because of the way that Rick left, he sounds clearer because he's more closer to our being than he would be on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my dad is more on the other side. So when my dad's talking, it's soft. But it's his voice. It's soft, but it's his voice. And when Rick talks to us, it's like he's sitting right next to us. And he's, hi, girls! Are you... And I'll ask, you know... He'd be like, I miss you, girls. You know, he's got, like, this gibberish little, you know, this voice or whatever, and I'd be like, are you fishing, you know? And he'd be like, what do you think I'm doing, you know?
So, have you guys let him go, though, in your hearts, though? Like, let him go and realize he's gone now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, too, they can be a little bit more stuck here because you're holding on to them more.
I don't think my mom's letting him go.
My mom is more that's hanging on to him.
Because that's what I'm actually feeling.
Yeah, my
right
mom
now.
is, you know, and when they're talking, I mean, they talk about my mom, you know, and they talk about my mom, and like, and it got me a little worried at first, you know, like, is there something wrong with my mom? Because I work where I work, you know, and what I do for a living, like, I'm trying to help her, you know, so there's a lot of issues that she's been involved in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to help her, not as her daughter, but as what I do for my job too. And it kind of, when they were talking about it, like, I got kind of worried because it's like, is mom okay? Is she okay? You know, but my mom and dad, you know, had a very, they were married for 32 years. They had a very up and down relationship. I mean, they struggled. They really did. And before he died, you know, they had a really rough patch in their life. And my mom got really close to her friend, Rick. And can I explain this? Should I just explain it? Okay. My mom got really close to her friend Rick, and they would go fishing like all the time, and that's basically all the relationship was just a regular friendship. My mom wanted more, but Rick didn't want more. He only liked her as a friend, and he was a registered sex offender. I don't remember the whole story, but from what it comes down to, from what I understand, was that he was falsely accused in regards to the situation. His daughter ended up becoming pregnant, and because of his offense, he wasn't allowed to be around children without adult supervision. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it. We did not ask. You know, but when we were talking to him, we were telling him, you know, like, everything's okay now, you know, like, it's all good now, you know. And he stayed at his mom's apartment, and along with his sister that traveled from a different state. And I guess this is my understanding, was she was making breakfast, and Rick was sitting at the kitchen table, and he told his sister that he was going to go outside and have a cigarette, and he never came back in.
Oh.
He never came back in, and he would normally would have his smoke in the back of the apartment complex. He left everything there. He was on Advair, you know, would breathe in, and he smoked, and he had a hat. I mean, he had his wallet. Everything was on the kitchen table. And his car was parked up front, his keys. I mean, everything was left, all right? And he was gone. He was completely gone. Like, he was nowhere. Well, they ended up getting a hold of my mom, and my mom, you know, was like really concerned. We called to work. He never showed up for work. You know, his mom ended up coming back from the hospital or whatever, and eventually, like, the second day, like, we ended up going to Sheboygan, and we searched high and low. We searched everywhere.
I did a tarot reading, and
all right, but
tarot
we knew
showed that wherever it was, there was stones and there was water. So I'm thinking by a river somewhere. So we were going through the woods, and
but you know, from the moment we walked in that apartment, from the moment he and I walked into that apartment, we were like, "Can we go in the basement? Can we go in the basement?" They're like, "No, you can't go down there. There's nothing down there but like a boiler room and rooms." And I was like, just looked at each other like, we need to go in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But the basement door was locked. And we went there for 2 weeks, dude. 2 weeks we went there. And finally one day Kate called me up and she's like, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." You know. So we ended up going there and we were walking around, but it wasn't like we were searching it all. So fucked up. But like, we're like, why won't we go back to the apartment? We'll go back and we'll drive by the apartment. He has to be there. You know? I even called the paper. I was like, why isn't his face on the front of the page of the paper? You know, like, he needs to be reported as missing. Like, I was freaking out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we pulled down the street, he's like, "Is that what I think it is?" And I'm like, what's going on? We pull in, and as we walk at the back, his couple of his sisters were walking up, and they looked at us, and they went like this. He was hanging in the boiler room the 14 days.
Mm.
Yeah. And Katie and I already knew it. We already knew. The first day that we went there, we actually wanted to go down there because we knew that he was there.
That's kind of why I asked before, like, do you feel that things happen more when you guys are together? Like, you can predict things better? I think you have some kind of
like I said, if you have...
we have this connection.
If you have all four of us,
mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, like, I'm not messing around. If you have me and my two sisters and my mom in the same room, it's, like I said, it's like a covenant, you know? Like, we can read. Like, we just know. There's just that feeling, you know? And that's what it is. It's a feeling. Like, you can't see it. It's weird. You can't see it, but, like, you can smell it and you can feel it.
Yeah, it's just hard for people that, you know, like, you know, myself and you guys, and it's just hard to explain to people, like, what happens when you feel this way. It's not like, you know, it's not that you're going crazy or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, but that's how it is, like, even, like, in my career, you know, like, I know when somebody's used drugs. I just know it.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're dying inside. You sense that feeling, you know, like, I know when we have a friend that's dying right now, and I just feel that, you know, like, I feel that, you know, it's sad. It's so sad that, like, I don't know, it's just overwhelming. Like, I could totally cry right now, but I'm holding it in.
No, I see that.
But, like, it's just it's so real, you know, and, like, and we knew when my dad was I'll never forget that. I'm just gonna talk about it. I will never forget the day that I saw my dad. The last day I saw my dad. The last thing he said to me was the very last thing that my Aunt Connie said to us the last thing that she said to us before we left the house. You know, like, he was different. He was weird. He was bloated. He had, like, bruises on his face. His aura was completely different. Like, he knew he was going to go. Like, he knew it. He knew, but he didn't want to tell me. But there was something about him that, like, he inched his way to tell me, but without telling me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I was in the kitchen, and, like, he was, I love you, you know, and, like, he was close to me, like, his face was close to me enough where I can, like, feel him.
Explain the, like, he had marks on him, whatever?
Yeah.
It's the, I don't know if it's called mottling or mottling, whatever, but when people are dying, their heart's giving out, their blood kind of slows down, like pools.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
He died of a heart attack. And, like, you know, he went to go leave, and, you know, I was walking to my car, and I turned around to look at him. And as I turned around to look at him, he looked right at me, you know, and, like, he just gave me that reassurance. It was just really weird. Like, he gave me that reassurance, and then he said exactly what Aunt Connie's, you know, I will see you, you know, I'll see you again. It was just, the way he said it was exactly what my Aunt Connie said. And it's like, what's weird is I knew, but I was in denial. But I've talked about it. I talked about it days before it even happened. I told Katie, I told my mom. Oh. But the thing is that they were around my dad all the time. I wasn't, you know? And, like, so when I'm talking to my dad on the phone and I'm hearing what he's telling me, I knew that there was something going on. And when I would see him, I could see the physical changes that are taking place. And I knew that there was something going on, you know, and I even told my dad, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital. You need to get that checked out, you know. And he never did, because he told me, when it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. Mm-hmm. Like, he wanted to go. And then the next thing you know, the night before he died, you know, there was a big snowstorm, and I was 8.5 months pregnant, and I told him, I called my mom up, I'm like, make sure you don't shovel, because, you know, you guys are older now, we will come over and we will shovel, okay, so do not go outside. Do not go outside. We will be there to shovel. Mm-hmm. 8:30 in the morning the following morning, my mom calls me up. He's on the ground. Blah, blah, blah. What was he doing? He grabbed the shovel.
It's just hard.
You know,
it's just hard because
why did you go outside to shovel?
Just, you know, you've been so independent all your life, and then when you get, you know, older and just
so, and I'm living in their house. I'm living in their house right now. I own that house now. But yeah, you know, and then when that happened, it's like we knew it was gonna happen, you know. I knew.
Well, I had a dream like the summer before he died that he died. And I called my mom and told her about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of how I knew.
I don't know. I think just us talking about this is helping you guys more or less than, like, popping out all the equipment and trying to, you know. I think it helps talking to somebody that's dealt with the same stuff. I mean, it definitely is something that we all struggle with, and like the point of this video is more or less to help others, and I know that you guys have that in your hearts to help people too, and like I was saying before, it's not to exploit you or, you know, it's your story, you know, if you wanted to share it or not. I think a lot of the times when we have attacks spiritually too is when somebody close to us dies. And that's something, you know, what I was more concerned about with this particular case. And that, you know, kind of has similar, like, similar abilities like me. And it just, I really felt the concern with this one, and I definitely could tell that it wasn't just necessarily, you know, just, you know, going out, having my whole entire team there, you know, taking pictures and taking readings and stuff like that. And it's a lot of times is, especially for people that are sensitive to things like that, I mean, it's a toss-up for me. I like to have the electronics around, because, like, it will confirm my own abilities, or confirm that I'm not insane.
Right. You know, and like when I'm doing the box, like that's like I said before, it's to me it's more of a positive thing. You know, I look at it as more a positive thing to me, and I see it as if they have something to tell me, it's because it's something that they really need to get out, that they've wanted to say, you know, and I'm there to listen, you know, and it vice versa. You know, it's every time that I've asked a question, they answer me. That's how it worked for me on her box.
But when I listen to the playbacks, it's like just this keeps talking. And I know when I did it before, the last couple messages we got, it was like, it asked if my husband was home. It's like, is he there? I found something out. You know, and I'm like, found something out about him or found something out that you need him to know? And I swear it said something about a rhythm book, leaving a rhythm book down somewhere. I couldn't really comprehend much after a rhythm book. And then, but it sounded like it was really important. So when I listened to it later, I was like, okay, well, what's going on, you know? But I asked him about it. He's like, I don't even know what a rhythm book is. I'm like, okay, is it your songbook that's in the basement? That's the only thing I could think of.
So the ghost box was pretty much saying that he had this book or whatever. This is not just the only thing, like, it was predicting other future events too, wasn't it? Like, can't think offhand any of them.
We asked
the one with my mom. It said that, like, first it said something about a burglary, or a burglar was going to come or something. And so that's kind of how my story started. But it was talking to me about my mom and her husband, and that he was going to, like, poison her wine and, you know, whatever else. And, you know, it was supposed to happen, like, on this specific night. And, like, we called the next morning, and it was, one of the things it did say was, think of it as a tragic bedtime story, you know, and it's like every night.
It said that?
Yeah, it said think of it as a tragic bedtime story.
Why would it say
But then
something?
it would continue on, you know, so it's just like, is this... I usually read to my son almost every night. You know, I used to read to both my kids every night, you know, so it's like, I don't know if it had something to do with that, or... you know, just something for me to, like, good luck trying to sleep tonight, because now you have this on your mind every night, you know.
That was like a taunt. Felt like a taunt to me. I'm just gonna let you know, though, if I do get an EVP or something, because this pretty much was been on the whole entire time. Okay. Even when that thing snapped and broke and scared the hell out of us. I don't know. There's just, it's hard even to explain, even for me. I guess that's why I do the videos too.
It feels like you guys need to come to, like, my house, you know. It feels like you guys need to be there, because when I'm away from the house, I start feeling a little more at ease, a little better. But when I'm at the house, it's like I start getting really panicky again.
Well, the specific thing, I want you to look up Incubus, but I want you to keep in mind that they're not, those things are it's very easy to get rid of one of them, if you want it to. But in any way that it thinks that it's giving you satisfaction, it won't go. I mean, it will normally connect itself with a specific item that you have that reminds you of it.
Your necklace?
My necklace, I was thinking the same thing.
So it will attach not to you, but to an item. That's how it helps. It has to connect itself to an image of something that will turn it real, turn it into real, like into our plane, brings it to us, like brings it to our level. What?
She said Michael.
Probably. Because I have like pictures of him. Like on my phone, I can't, for some reason, ever since all this went on, I can't even like look at his pictures. Like when I do, I just feel kind of weird,
But like develop like Incubus type things, like trying to get.
This is like another coincidence too with saying necklace. It's like, it's weird. It's like with the recordings, it was almost like subliminal messages.
That's what I was trying to say before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you caught on or know what I was talking about at the time. Like, I was saying, like, sometimes you hear it before it goes on the box, or you hear it right like milliseconds before it even says it. Like, that's what I'm getting from you two. Both of you actually have that ability to see that too, just like me. But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of the times when you're listening to it, you can hear it in your head. It doesn't even have to say a damn thing on the ghost box. And if you watch any of my videos, like, you could see that I'll start talking about something, and it wasn't even the box saying it. I'm like, yeah, it's my head, kind of thing. And it's just hard to tell people that, and like, it really does, like, oh, I'm hearing it in my head. It's kind of a weird concept, I guess, but I've noticed that through all the times I've done this. It's almost predictable that I know that it's gonna. When it's gonna talk on the box, like, I'll know a specific area. Like right now, it's a toss-up. Like, they've been more distant and watchy lately. That, to me anyway. Occasionally I'll catch them, and they've been a little bit more sneakier with me sensing where they are, like, or throwing me off of knowing that they're around. Like, I don't know if they catch on to the stuff like that or not, but it just sounds like, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about or not.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I totally know what you're talking about. I know the other thing with the recording too is, once I'm caught or whatever, I know one thing that's mentioned is like the person asks, like, how I knew. And the box is mentioned a lot. Like,
I think a lot of the
constant
times mix the box can actually. I can see things better with it on too. Like, it's really weird. Like, it's like an extra tool to my own abilities to become. I don't know. It does more than just talk on like random, voices or things talking in full sentences or swearing at me. It's more than that to me anyway. Like, you have that connection with the ghost box that, like, I sometimes have a problem with, like, my teammates touching the ghost box because it's not necessarily because it's mine or whatever. You develop a relationship pretty much with the box. I actually had one before this that it was actually, I actually made it. I hacked it up and made it so that it would become a ghost box. Actually, it's in here. I don't know where it is. Up there somewhere. But it wasn't accurate, like the milliseconds. Like, I like the milliseconds because when I zoom it in and look at the wave patterns, it's consistent versus a hacked one it's not at every millisecond. It's randomly skipping channels, and it stops and does stupid shit. So I I think a lot of times it helps open up your clairvoyance, you know, your ability to see things.
That's why I'm so worried.
But then again, you know, I think that spirits can manipulate that ability that you have and
Like get in your head
fool you
and tell you what your worst fears.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, one of the things that I've been saying for many years is every time I love somebody, they always leave. And usually they die. You know, it's the ones that I love that end up dying, you know. And it's like with this, my biggest nightmare, everybody I love, you know. And it even says, like, you love, and then it named off one of my good friends, and it says, and then named off another good friend. You know, and it's just like 7 are going to die, and then, you know, if I run or whatever, and then once 10 people die, like, then I'll be me, you know.
So, did this thing say something about me? Like,
I
have a
remember.
feeling.
I don't remember really hearing anything about you. It's like I kind of feel like you're my safe place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm wondering if something was mentioned.
I feel that it's aware of me for sure. Like, I think it hasn't really. I think it's changed its technique since then. Since I, helped you. I think I helped you that first night or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's changed its tactics, and it's still thinking of a different way to, you know, get at you.
Well, one of my girlfriends too, and I talked to her today. I asked her, and I mentioned, like, they said Monday night, they said Tuesday, they said, you know, whatever, and she's like, well, sometimes it could be like 5 years down the road or 10 years, and I'm like, so you're telling me they do predict? You know, It's just like I don't want to go out in
But from what I
I
understand, those they cannot predict that far out. From when I did research, they cannot predict that far out.
You know, there was even a part in the clip where it said no one's home. Like somebody came to the house that was supposed to do all this and was like, no one's home. You know, and like they're paging or they're calling somebody and telling them nobody's home. I mean, it's really weird.
I didn't hear that.
No?
I didn't hear anything that
I
she
didn't
said.
hear
Maybe
everything.
it's one of those things that we were just talking about that she kind of.
And I have been very
before.
vulnerable and edgy, and you know, even before all this, like I've been a little, like I probably shouldn't have done this because I've been not my strongest, you know.
Oh yeah, it's hard too sometimes because it's so. It's not necessarily intriguing. I just feel that I have to do it. I have to record anything paranormal, anything related to it, and I need to.
You realize you share that with me, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is like I've been smoking so much lately because of all this.
I actually had to stop smoking because a lot of this stuff actually, like, especially when I don't want to freak you out or anything, I get connected to my clients or whatever, like, especially if I know that it's something like something could be potentially dangerous. So I pretty much have to know exactly what you're going through, and I pretty much take on your traits, kind of. I don't know if I don't know, like, it's kind of hard to, like, block and, like, show people that it's not, like, I don't know, it's a weird thing to talk about.
Like I said, I think it's more of somebody playing with her head to get her to the level.
Well, there's,
that-
like, the way that this was, too.
They do it to me. They do it to me, and, like, they can catch me off guard.
Yeah.
A year or so ago when I got my surgery done, I got into a really dark place, and I actually started ghost hunting when I had the surgery done. Like, I didn't really tell that many people, but I guess I was having a conversation after I was heavily medicated from right after the surgery. There's this lady walked into my room. I remember it. I was up on a lot of morphine and shit, and there was I have a feeling that I was hanging out with two spirits. Like, I was traveling the building with these two. And they were saying goodbye to me because I was going back into my body. I think I left my body during the surgery. Like, I think I went out and started walking around and I met these two spirits.
It's possible.
And I started remembering them when I was in my body again. Like, I remember them standing in my room. Like, the girl's like, goodbye, you know, like, you know. That's Amy. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I remember telling her, I'm like, yeah, there was things in my that's broken. We're talking about ghosts, and this whole thing snapped and broke.
The door?
Yeah, it can't open now.
Oh.
Weird, huh?
Ah.
Well, with the audio though, I mean, there was like a little clip in there where it was like, you're more beautiful without makeup, and then there's like something about talking about Layla and down, and you know, just so every time somebody is saying something, no matter, like my daughter's boyfriend's always telling her she's more beautiful, she's even more beautiful without makeup on and everything. It's like I'm taking all this, like these are all little reminders of it.
Yeah, I do definitely see a lot of your gifts in her. It's a little bit more, just trying to block it, like doesn't want to care about it, doesn't want nothing to do with it, so she'll ridicule you about it, and that's what I get out of it. Like, she just wants to, like, yeah, Mom, you're crazy kind of attitude.
That's like,
but yet she sees it, and she knows and very well aware of it.
She's kind of scared. I can tell. And
it's like, do I have reason to be scared? You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm fine.
Well,
when she leaves, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as Katie comes over or I'm around her, it's just, I'm scared. It freaks me out.
Because she has the ability to transfer emotions to people.
Yeah.
Like
there's
me.
yeah, I can like suck in emotions too. I know.
Can you look up energy vampires yet?
Yeah. I try not to. Well, and then in the recordings, it talks about how everybody's telling me all this stuff, that I'm crazy and what they're saying behind my back.
But in the end, it seems like they're saying, I'm fucking with you.
No, they're like, you know what's funny is, or you know what's really funny.
But it seems like,
is,
you know, because it's like a clown noise.
Like nobody listened to me. Yeah, and it was like, Katie's crazy. And now look, you know.
But I'm wondering, like, if she had, you know, a covering on her box like you do, that she wouldn't be hearing half of the stuff that she's hearing.
Oh, it definitely helps. Like,
you know what I mean?
My shows are a little bit more boring without the radio frequencies, but then again, no one can fucking say, hey, that's just a radio. I'm like, no, no, it's not.
Right.
So, I mean...
Because it's like you're trying to pick out the words to lead through. You know what I mean?
But I also think that it actually interferes with them talking through it, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'd have to be very powerful to get through that. You know?
Yeah, because when my dad's talking, he sounds like he's yelling. You know, but he's not yelling.
But there was one recording we had where he's like, I'm so ashamed. And then it sounded like he was saying of Chris. And then he starts yelling, like, and it was like real like, you know? Like there's some of that on there. There's some whispering that I've heard. There's like growling, like little growling sounds that I've heard. It's...
I mean, do you feel, you know, talking about this is helping, though? I mean...
A little bit. I'm still like, there's still that, I mean, is it going to happen? You know? Or is this
You know,
something
it always
less
comes
important?
down to, am I going to get sucked up by a tornado tomorrow? You know, like, am I going to worry about tomorrow that I'm going to get sucked up by a tornado, or I'm, you know, or just live my life like it's not going to happen? You pretty much have, you know, it's going to happen, just like what your dad said to you. Like, you know, when it's my time, it's my time.
But I just don't want to go
But
out.
you can't, you know, I'm going to die tomorrow. You can't,
Yeah.
you simply can't do it. Regardless if it's true or not, or if it's lying, you just simply can't have that affect your decision. You know, because that, you know, that puts you in that dark place too. Like, holy shit, why the fuck continue living? Because I'm gonna get sucked up by this fucking tornado tomorrow. You know, what's the point? You know, it does come down to that. Like, that puts you in that dark place, like, right away. Like, there isn't no other way options. There's no options except for doing that. That's, you know, that dark spot, you know, that we all try not to think about, you know, like how could somebody go down that path? I'm like, it's very easily, you know, like,
Coming out of it is hard.
I think that's a lot of the times too is why I got out of, like, doing readings for people, is because I felt that I was causing them paranoia. You know, like, sometimes I feel that people should not know what's going to happen to them. Just the simple fact is that, you know, and I think you know this, is that you have that outcome of your life. You know, you predict what's going to happen. Not, you can change the future.
Have you done palmistry?
Yeah.
Because I have noticed since all this, my wristlets, you know, your wristlets were supposed to be like, you know, every 20 years of life kind of thing. Like, my daughters are really short now. And I used to have, like, one more in there.
She shut the door.
And now it's like, you know, that kind of worries me.
You know, even though I believe in it, it's not necessarily like I'm going to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one of those things that adds to becoming paranoid about, you know, someone's going to die tomorrow. Just like, you know, the tornado, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, it happens, you know.
I'm just trying to figure out how somebody is supposed to create, like, a brutal mass rape and murder with multiple people.
Well, you did
without
say
anybody
that, you
fighting
know, you
back.
know somebody that's, like, capable of doing shit like that. But, like I was saying, though, like, maybe you're causing it to gonna happen by just becoming so paranoid about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, see, there's a part of me that I don't know, there's something that I just recently think that's happening. Like, I can cause things to happen, like damage to my car, for example. Like, I've been having so much problems with my car. It's not even funny. That's why it's not here. But I think that because I've become so stressed out, I can affect things around me so badly that it damages stuff, and, like, stuff like that happening. Like, that's just weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because it's the cable that broke on my car today. It's the cable, like the same kind of, like, cable for the shifter to the transmission, just like that. Like, it snapped like that. It's exactly the same almost. Like, it kind of freaked me out. Like, I don't want to tell you guys that, but it's pretty much what happened today on the car. So, I mean, stuff like that. I have to stop myself from thinking paranoid stuff, because if I am causing this stuff, you know, I need to stop. You know, even though I'm stressed out, causing things to happen, like I can't afford it for one, and second, thinking about it constantly, I think I developed some new kind of like skill to damage stuff, you know, and because I'm worrying about and focusing on it so much that it causes it to happen. So I think that's kind of almost similar to what I'm thinking with you. I mean, if you think about it so much, you know, it actually becomes true, you know. I don't know if you don't understand what I'm saying or not, but...
So in other words, you need to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, it's just really hard, because even when I try to, like, get my mind on something else, it's like...
Yeah,
it just keeps
pops
coming
back
in. And I feel like I don't want to be home, you know? Especially at night.
Yeah, not sleeping lately hasn't helped me. I haven't slept in like 3 days, pretty much. No. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like ever since that night he came over, I haven't slept. It's kind of weird.
It's not
About
like
a week.
like you're not getting a bad feeling like you think it's gonna happen to you.
I don't know if it's necessarily you or anything. I just having problems sleeping lately. All of a sudden, just don't want to sleep. Like today, I think I slept 4 hours from the time I glided you or whatever until 10. It's the only time I slept in 2 days, pretty much, that I can remember.
Yeah.
The day before, I just went off and, well, most of it's because of stupid car stuff. But still, like, I just want you to realize that, you know, sure, this stuff's happening, but you can't dwell on it because it will ruin your life. It will make you delusional, paranoid, and a hermit that don't want to talk to anybody. I know I'm talking from experience.
Yeah. I just I just feel like I'm not safe in my home. You know, but I don't know.
Well, you can't, like I was telling you about that psychopath that too long ago I had some guy trying to kill me. Like, he came here at 5 o'clock in the morning, pounding on the door that he was gonna fucking kill me, and pretty much was going to, because he's just completely insane on antipsychotics and took himself off it. Well, anyway, he thought that I was killing his brother through magic, and because I'm so powerful, whatever, he automatically assumed that I was killing his brother, so he came here to kill me.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank God I had people over here, and they went out and like beat the shit out of him. Like,
see, I keep telling my husband, I'm just like, can you have some friends sleep over?
just have guys hang out.
Have a bunch of guys around. He's like, you don't need a bodyguard, and it's like, but what if I do? You know?
I suppose I'm like the same way. I don't think like we normally have people over all the time. It's not nothing new, but I think because if we never had them around, I think I'd be like a little bit more paranoid, because you know, ever since that happened, I had some crazy shit happen to me within a short period of time. I had a guy jump out of my car at 60 miles per hour for no damn reason. He just went insane and jumped out my car. He was acting all stupid. Quick couple things I want to go over here. This was the review of our client case. Very sensitive matter. We're probably going to do an investigation on the road. There's a few things I want to touch on. She's doing better. Told her pretty much that she needs to let go of this as much as possible. Let go. Stop, you know, talking to spirits on a daily basis. Just have them, you know, step back from it, because she is sensitive. They like that attention, so like when she gives them that attention on a daily basis, she definitely has to excuse me, take a step back for a little bit. A lot of times this stuff can get to you, and it definitely can affect your mind. So this video is more or less for others that are out there, if you're having, experiences happening to you, get a hold of a paranormal group. A lot of them, you really do have to make sure that you're looking into, like, if they are actually doing case study, like on reading people, a lot of mental stuff, psychology, stuff like that, to make sure that they are actually having a paranormal experience before you even go out to a location. This particular person, I do believe that there is a paranormal event happening with her. A note on the thing that actually snapped in the room there. I was actually talking about an exorcism. It didn't happen until that actually I was talking about an exorcism. So, I mean, it definitely was kind of odd that happened. So, yeah, we're gonna have to go down there and do an investigation on the property, her property, to see if we actually get something like this happen again. Like, it just it's really crazy when something like that happens, especially in the middle of an interview. Yeah, they're definitely doing a little bit better than when they first originally contacted me about the experiences happening. It's more or less a mental thing, but it definitely got crazy fast. So, alright, we'll keep you up to date down the road with this. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.